Alright, so the tuners have been test fitted. The holes have been drilled. As you could see, I had to take a little bit off some of the edges here. I don't believe there's a big difference in casting, so I believe the difference comes from my drilling. First 3 strings are the same distance, and the last 3 strings are the same distance, are equidistant. The 3rd and the 4th string, they are a little bit wider apart, so it creates almost these groups of 3 and 3. That was not intentional, but it happened. So I'm just gonna work with it. As for veneer, I'm thinking carbon fiber on the back, because it is flat, completely flat, as you can see. That makes for an easy job with overlaying the carbon fiber. And this very thin piece of ebony, I'm thinking having half, like from just on top of the truss rod and sort of following the edge, and then having the lower edge pink, same as the body. Or having veneers in 2 different colors, maybe like this walnut and this in that same shape, but between the 2 have a strip of pink, just like an accent of pink. I think maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to sand this to paint grade, I guess you'd say, but it's not, it's really glue grade. And laminate, not laminate, but apply carbon fiber to the back here, so that I'm ready with the headstock and ready to start carving the neck. So what I did think was maybe 2 plies, or maybe even 3-ply lamination on the front, because I think that may look nice. And then it'll look like that. On top it'll add about, let's see, how much will it add? It will add 2 millimeters to the headstock, and then the carbon fiber will add half a millimeter, so we get 2.5 millimeters extra. And then we will be at 12, because this is just 10 mil thick. So I think that'll be ideal for the neck, for the tuner installation. But I think maybe I'll do patterns. One, maybe this darker, going full on with that, and maybe this one, and then this one, so that all 3 of them are only on top where the headstock is. And I'll call it a pinstripe, but I can't really pinstripe, so it'll be masked and taped, just a pink accent line somehow. So I'm gonna start sanding this, and you're free to either watch that or skip it. It's not going to be very exciting. It'll be me sanding it by hand, but that's something. I'm going to be sanding it up to 240, I think. So I find that the finer you sand, the less visible glue lines you have. Sorry, not glue lines, but joints. So have you seen, if you ever seen a mayonnaise or a Skirvison joint, you can see that it's almost invisible. It just looks like it was painted a different color because the joints are so tight, so beautiful. So I think that comes from just really paying attention to the sanding stage. So sanding, here we go. So what I'm doing, these weren't long enough to go the long way. They would stop sort of halfway up. So what I'm going to do, I've cut this, I have to go the short way around, so I get two pieces next to each other. This isn't going to be shown, hopefully. So what I'm going to do now is make a foam sort of clamping coil, so I can press this entire headstock down at once. I'm going to glue this in just for a little while, cut it to the shape of the head, then take this, sort of place it the way I want it, because I want the veneers to sort of be visibly layered, and then the ebony at the end. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to place this thin strip of this just below where the nut goes, because you can see straight into the truss rod. So just going to use this as a guide and cut down the center. No, not the center, the sides. I need more of these knives. So thin, this it's quite difficult. I need to buy some proper veneer. Now I'm just holding this in place because the nut is quite, there's a lot of texture on it because it hasn't been polished or filed yet. So just using a knife to cut down along the edge. The knife is not going to cut the bone. So I'm basically just getting the exact shape of the nut so it's less work to get it to fit in there. And for that I'm just going to use super glue, I think. Not only is it fast drying, it's also has an ability to sort of permeate this thin strip of wood and make it like rock hard. So now, just giving the sides a little kiss with some sandpaper. And checking the fit. No, not yet. But the nut is tight, but I can sort of press that in there. This, however, is so thin that it needs to be exact, otherwise it's not good. There we go. Fits. Should I use black glue for this? Yeah, I think I would. Black super glue. Perhaps can't see this. Oh. Let me see. Can I do it this way? Yeah, camera can see that. Just my stand here. I'm seeing some quite incredible camera setups. And I think you'll be surprised to know that I am a photographer, but as you can see, I'm no videographer. Just a little bit. I don't want a lot of squeeze out. And then I'm going to jam that nut blank in there. There we go. That's going to work out beautifully. Hopefully I have enough glue on this. Should I clamp it? Do I need to? Maybe I need to. Yeah, just to be sure. You can never over clamp something, right? You can. And I have to go this way so I don't interfere too much. There we go. No squeeze out yet. This Star Bond super glue, super good. However, the cork tends to get full. They do supply with extra corks though, so that's good. All right, so it hasn't been a short while. It's now the next day. So let's see how this worked out. Now this is just the first layer of veneer. I'm going to put 2 more layers on, maybe 3. Maybe I'll wedge the ebony. So yeah, it's quite nice. We're obviously going to cut this down to shape. For the other 2, let's see how this nut stuff worked out. See that? I can cut that down, and the nut's going to be sitting on top of there. Okay. Now the method to cutting something that is as thin as this, I'm going to lay something over. Either I'm going to cut with scissors, because if you start pulling with a knife, you may drag some of the fibers off. This is super thin, as you can see here. It's already started cracking. Sorry. And you can even see light through. So I'm going to cut this thin, down to shape, more or less, and then I'm just going to sand it down. So that's what I'm going to be doing, but I might do that tonight. I'm thinking now, it's quite early, I might do some routing on the body while it's while I'm not going to be waking up any neighbors and stuff. So anyway, this is how it's going to be done. So I'm thinking this one, this is going to go full head. I'm using the back now because I haven't cut it. And then the next one will have a slight curve to it. I think they're going to meet at this point, just a little bit higher, and then the ebony might just go right where the tuner's holes are and then start curving down, so that you'll have 3 layers be visible. It's on this side, but in this shape right here. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see how it turns out. So what I'm going to do now, I have a customer coming soon, by the way, so then I'll have to turn off they're recording, but I'm going to start cutting this away. I am going to get my scissors, if I can find them. There they are. I'm going to start with these.